Democratic Congresswoman and chair of the Progressive Caucus, Pramila Jayapal, is walking back her words this morning. Here is what started it all at a Netroots conference this weekend. Listen.
We have been fighting to make it clear that Israel is a racist state, that the Palestinian people deserve self-determination and autonomy.
Jayapal there was responding to pro-Palestinian protesters who showed up at the event on Saturday. By Sunday, Jayapal was trying to clean it up, saying this in part: words do matter, and so it is important that I clarify my statement. I do not believe the idea of Israel as a nation is racist. The controversy comes just days before the Israeli president is scheduled to address a joint meeting of Congress, and some progressives have already said that they will be skipping that. Joining me right now to talk about this is Democratic Congressman Brad Schneider from Illinois. Congressman, thank you for coming in. The Congresswoman, I just read part of her statement in which she was trying to clear up and clean up what she said on Saturday. Is that cleanup and clarification, is it enough for you?
I think I spoke to her several times yesterday. I think she understands that she misspoke. Israel's not a racist state. She doesn't believe it is. She has said that, and I expect she'll clarify that even more. At the same time, we've had leadership of the Democratic Party chime in and make clear that as a party, we support Israel. Israel is our strongest ally in the world, or certainly in the Middle East, one of our strongest in the world, and the relationship is ironclad.
You've signed on to a letter we could describe it as a group of Democratic members, Jewish members, more moderate members, signed on to a letter kind of speaking out about her remarks. At the end of the letter that I have seen, it reads this, just to read it for everyone, Congressman: we will never allow anti-Zionist voices that embolden anti-Semitism to hijack the Democratic Party and country. Is that what you see Congresswoman Jayapal doing with these remarks? Do her comments work to hijack the Democratic Party?
No, I think as we crafted the letter, what we were saying is the groups on both sides of this political spectrum who are trying to create wedges and divide, in this case, divide the Democratic Party. The folks you heard chanting, making it impossible for Jan Schakowsky to speak on Saturday. They have a clear intent to demonize Israel, to try to create a wedge and bring the Democratic Party to a position that just doesn't reflect the realities of the U.S.-Israel relationship, or where the Democratic Party is supporting that relationship. We have broad bipartisan support for Israel, not just in the Democratic Party, but across Congress.
That's very true. The Israeli president, as I mentioned, is coming to Washington. He's going to be speaking to Congress on Wednesday. Ahead of that, some fellow Democrats, some progressives have said that they're going to be boycotting the speech over their objections to moves being made by the Netanyahu government. Is that the right move? Do you see that as the right approach to register their objections?
No, I see it as exactly the wrong approach. Look, President Herzog has been outspoken in trying to address the issues Israel faces, including trying to find compromise across parties within Israel on the judicial reform. He has advocated for looking for pathways to reach out and create a platform to restart negotiations with the Palestinians, looking for a partner with the Palestinians. Simple fact is there is no partner on the Palestinian side to try to begin to have conversations. But what we're seeing around the region is the Abraham Accords are taking hold. Israel is developing close relations with countries around the region. And my hope is the Palestinians will find it within their leadership to join the talks and join the progress being made in the entire region.
This trip, though, by Herzog also highlights the fact that the Prime Minister Netanyahu has not received an invitation to come to Washington and an invitation to the White House. Why do you think he hasn't received an invite yet? Do you see that as a problem? Do you see that as a problem in sending a bad message in terms of the relationship with the Netanyahu government, one of America's closest allies in Israel?
Look, I'm excited to see President Herzog coming to Washington. He'll meet with the president tomorrow. We'll speak to a joint session of Congress on Wednesday, and I expect a vast majority of members will be present in the chamber to celebrate the President Herzog's speech, as well as celebrate 75 years of Israel's existence and a close U.S.-Israel relationship. And I have no doubt that Prime Minister Netanyahu will be here speaking to the president and speaking to the American people as well.
I want to turn gears real quick because in New Hampshire today, No Labels, the group, and Senator Joe Manchin, they're going to be holding an event fueling speculation of a possible third-party presidential run. Joe Lieberman, one of the founding members of No Labels, he was on this weekend saying that what they are trying to do is one thing they do not want to be spoilers. They are not in this to be spoilers, is how he put it. You have now joined a group along with the former Democratic House leader, Dick Gephardt, to counter this effort. Why do you see this as such a problem as a Democrat?
Well, one of the things I said, and I said this in my conversations with Mr. Gephardt, is these are extraordinary times, and extraordinary times require extraordinary measures. A second Trump presidency I see as a threat, not just to the country, but to the entire American experiment. And we need to create unity to make sure that Trump cannot and will not be the next president of the United States. This is not a specific criticism of No Labels alone. I think any third-party candidate, history has shown that third-party candidates have a very difficult time gaining support. And current polling reflects that a third-party candidate not only can't win the presidency, but it's going to hurt the incumbent president far more than it would damage the former president.
Let's see what happens with this. It's good to have you on, Congressman.